Good call there. I muted myself. Awesome. Super fun. All right, so I guess let's take a step back and we'll talk about what we're doing. Thanks for speaking up in the chat. So, what we're doing. So, I have this Laravel app. Taking a step back, I talked a little bit about it on the podcast, Slightly Caffeinated.fm with me and Chris Gamir. I got kind of roped into coaching Science Olympiad, which is like a science competition for schools at my son's school. And I actually ended up coaching the Code Warriors, which is like perfect. And they had their first competition yesterday. It didn't go so hot. So I kind of wanted to give them some study guides to be able to study a little bit more at home. And before I spent a ton of time doing it, I thought it might be fun to try and generate these study guides with Prism. So what we're doing here is like I have a Laravel app that I use just for like it's kind of a junk drawer for all of my AI and like Prism needs. So with Prism Server, I have a bunch of agents spun up. I talk to them through Open Web UI. And that's just like a easy way for me to be able to chat with like these predefined agents that can do different things. And right now what I'm doing is just giving us like an array of topics, and this will be like I'm envisioning one study guide per topic. So we're just going to make a artisan command for this. Cool. So we've got and or not. All right. So I think the easiest thing that we're going to run into is probably spin up a All right, so for each of these topics, what we're going to want is let's just spin up a all right, and we'll want to. That's interesting. Let's say one. Anthropic, and let's take a look at, I want to use 3.7. Let's grab this. Let's see where this is at. I feel like I have use prompts, Nova V2. let's see. We want that system prompt and let's say let's not do that. Let's just do it this way. Let's call it all right. So we're going to generate the response. We got our prompts, the study guide. We're going to pass in our topic, and then let's all right, cool. So let's work on this prompt. Let's see. I think what we want to do is let's just give it like all the fucking. Sorry, let's just give it all the context, and like let it run with it. Through 6th grade. All right, let's just keep it simple. So we're passing in the topic. I actually want to put together a new let's call it. Give it Nova, and then let's include. I think it's inside Prism. I got this like documentation style guide. Oops. All right, let's. We'll see if this works. All right, what do we call this? Generate. I hope that works. Nope, we did something wrong. What did we call it? Okay. It's definitely working. I don't think it's outputting to Ray though. All right, let's oh. Should be getting something, I would think. There we go. All right, sweet. Let's take a look at what we got. Variables. Why did it output variables study guide twice? Don't like that. Let's make a few adjustments here. Let's see what we did. Aha, we also didn't update this. Doesn't matter. Let's call it. And then let's go take a look at. All right, let's update this to output. What we should probably do is. I guess it'll all make sense in a second, I swear. Whoops. All right, so we're gonna output the files to this directory. Let's go ahead, split this off. What do we got going on here? Oh, okay. All right, we got variables. I guess we probably also should do um, let's just clean up. We're gonna, instead of ray, we can still ray. Let's go ahead and add some. No, I want to actually. No. Let's do this. Oops. All right. Sorry, I've not been really communicating what I'm doing. I'm just like ripping through a bunch of this. Let's see what we got over here as far as an error. Let's see. No such file exists. That's fine. We'll say. We can go in here and say. What? All right, let's see what we've got here. You know what? I don't. There's something I'm not liking. I don't. I want to get rid of this stuff. So we'll just. We'll just use Nova's base prompt. Where was that? Let's see what we got now for variables. Oops. It's because I just triggered another one that's going to delete it. I think let's just add... Nova's awesome Python variables study guide. Let's see. I think this is going to work out great. That study guide looks really not so bad. So something that I'm noticing is like part of Nova's base prompt includes including these emojis, and that is I don't want to clean that stuff up. So let's see if we can refine this. Sorry, I'm slouching really bad. I got to get my sit up a little bit more. I could also just like angle my camera down some more, you know. Whatever. There we go. All right. So what are we doing? We're gonna try to do something. Let's do something a little different. All right, we wanted... What are we cooking? All right, from chat. What are we cooking today? We are building a study guide generator, like a Python study guide generator for like targeting 4th through 6th graders. And here are all the topics that we need these like for each study guide. I figured we do like based on the curriculum that they need to know for the competition. It's like for Science Olympiad. So schools get together and they have these like science-based competitions. I'm coaching the Code Warriors team, and we just had a competition yesterday. It didn't go so hot, so I wanted to put together some take-home study guides for the students to be able to like study a little bit more at home. When we meet once a week, we've been going through the Python Codecademy course, and that's been great for them, but I want to empower them to be able to do a little bit more at home as well. So I thought it would be fun to try building this with Prism and generate these study guides. So far we've got it generating study guides, just like skimming through it. It looks pretty good. We can look also at like control flow. So we've got if statements, else statements, I think pretty cool stuff. And I'll be able to like print these out for them to, if we go to like print, be able to print these out for everybody. So we are using Anthropic. We're using the latest Sonnet, like 3.7 Claude Sonnet model. We've got a pretty clean function. We've got everything working, but I want to try something a little different. So let's go ahead and just cut a commit so we have something to fall back on. And then let's switch this up, because what I'm not liking is getting some bleed through on Nova's prompting into the content of the study guides. So I want to see if we can do this to just to structured content. I'm going to change this to change that to structured. And so what we're going to have to provide here is a schema. going to go pretty generic here. Properties, we're going to add a new string schema, and we're going to call this the let's see. All right, so this becomes response text, which is no longer true. We have let's fix this and just call it content. So I think we should be able to come in here and just go oops, what am I doing? This is not a test. This is a command. What do we break? Ah. Right here, we need to go. Let's see what we get. I'm wondering if this like sidesteps some of the stuff with Nova's prompt. So part of the prompting strategy for Nova to make sure that we're still operating within the context window, that the prompt's working correctly, there are some instruction sets in there that enforce it to include emojis at the beginning and the end of the response. Like I said, there's a couple of reasons behind doing that. You know what, let's try, instead of Anthropic, let's try OpenAI, and let's, oops. Let's try 4.0. What do we got? Oh, no API key, which is easy to fix. Whoops. What's it mad about now? I normally use Anthropic. The reason why what just happened and why I bailed on it was we actually have like what I call adapted support for Anthropic. They don't actually support they don't actually support structured output. So we like try to guide the model into creating structured output, but it's not always reliable. Whereas OpenAI like actually supports structured output. So you can see here that we're getting exactly what I was hoping to get out of it. So let's go update. this, we can probably comment that out. We have response text, which is not what it's going to be anymore. So we need to do data get. We'll call it response structured, and we will get the content key. Let's rename this generate this. I want to update this to let's see what we got. We're still getting Nova's bleed through in here. Let's see if we can add something in here to oh, we're not using that anymore. So let's just say like do not use. Let's just do that. Let's see what we get. All right, chat, what we got? Yeah, so I did mention so what I found out at the competition was that my son is actually the oldest in the group. The other two students in the Code Warriors team are fourth graders, and he's a sixth grader. And he already knew some JavaScript going into this, so I was trying to like get him to do some extra practice, so that like he could kind of be a ringer for the team. I guess things kind of fell apart once they got into the competition. There was some arguing over like team dynamics, who was going to do what. So I don't know. I got to work on like team dynamics with them too. But the topics they should have like a good understanding of. Okay, we got rid of emojis, and that just kind of fixed everything. So I got him to try to practice a little bit more, but he ended up getting frustrated. The day that like he agreed to do extra practice, he got really frustrated by it, and I just decided not to push the issue anymore. So these study guides I can like distribute these study guides to all the students, like the three that are on the team, and then they can like take these home and be able to like continue to practice with them. At least that's the hope anyway, is that they've got some like reference to keep studying, while we also are doing like the Code Academy once a week. So I think these are pretty decent, like a pretty decent start. Let's Yeah, so we do the like when we meet once a week in the school, and what we've been doing is just like working our way slowly through the Code Academy course, and that's been working out really pretty well. But I think they just need some like extra reinforcement. I realized maybe not my entire screen's being shown, so there we go. I don't know why it should be matching up. I don't know what's going on. All right. So we've got most of the way through. Let's check list, or they're just doing list arrays right now. Oh. So the command I'm using to preview this is a little package I published called GoGrit. It's just like a really very simple standalone Go binary that allows you to render like Markdown files in your browser using GitHub's Markdown API. So this is like should match exactly what's going to be rendered on GitHub. Works with both dark and light mode. It's pretty chill. Let's give it some rules. We've been going for almost an hour. I'm probably going to wrap it up after this round of generation. I got some other things I got to go take care of. Cool. We dropped that section. Yeah, we'll see if this is helpful then. Cool. So let's just take a look at what we did to make all this happen. All right. So we spun up a command, like just a artisan command. And what we're doing is we're looping through all of our topics. Our topics are right down here. We're looping through all of our topics, and then we're just like kind of doing a little bit of output. We're deleting the old file to make way for like generating the new one. We're generating the output. What that looks like is we're taking our Prism instance, which we really probably don't need to do. This is probably excessive. Yeah, Sam, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I should be live on both YouTube and Twitch as well. We probably don't need to do this abstraction. And then we could just delete this. All right, so we're generating the output. What we're using is Prism structured output. We're using OpenAI as the provider with the GPT-4o. We're using a schema that's defined as like a study guide object with like, so we'll get an object But an object is a response from the LLM, which would be an associative array for us, and it's going to have a single key as its single key in the object of content, which is going to be the study guide content written in Markdown. So that's the schema. We're using the Nova v2 prompt, which is really a slightly modified version of the Nova base prompt from Collaborative Dynamics. Prompt thought leaders, like those guys are amazing. We set the max tokens. I don't think this is valid for GPT-4o, but it was the max tokens for Anthropic, which is what we started with. Then we have our prompt, which is we're using a view file for it. So our prompt is asking it, telling it that it's tasked to generate a study guide geared towards 4th and 5th grade students. They are competing in a Python coding science competition at Science Olympiad, right? Here's some generation rules. Do not use emojis, images, only text. And do not include a section for like additional resources, because I don't know what it's going to recommend, right? Like I've got resources for these that I can probably go through and sprinkle in, but I'd rather not have the LLM just like suggest random resources. And we then give it the study guide topic, which is coming from our topics down here. So back up at our like handle method, right? We're generating the output. We are then creating the file. And creating the file, we're using like the data getter helper, and we're taking like the response structured output, which will be an associative array. We're getting the content key, we're saving that as a file, and then we're using GoGrip, which is a little library of mine, to preview the Markdown, and we're just taking a look at like what it's outputting for these different topics. You know, like what are operators? Here, basic operators, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And some like practice. What I may do is I may try to like standardize what these look like, and then be able to provide a more detailed prompt of like what's a like shared structure between all of these things, so we can kind of maybe standardize the headers a little bit or something. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what we've put together. You know, we've been streaming for an hour, so I'm very happy with what we've been able to put together. If we look at it, we go to our views, not our views, storage, study guides, right? We've got all of them here: control flow, functions, list arrays, operators, order of operations, printing output, all that stuff. So we got all the good stuff in here. We got all of the study guides generated, so I'm going to probably clean them up a little bit, tweak some stuff, maybe add a few more rules, do a few more generations, and I think we'll maybe be good. So I just thought it would be a fun stream today to go through and like actually build something with Prism instead of just building on Prism. So cool. I think that's going to be it for today. I really appreciate all of you who viewed in, and you know, anyone who hit me up in the chat. I appreciate all that. So we will probably stream again later this week. I don't know what we're going to be working on. Probably working on some Prism internals. But yeah, thought this would be fun for today. Thanks. Peace out.